What's up, bro? So we're 2.5 days away from the dividend announcement from Group D. And so in this video, we'll go over dividend estimates for each of these funds. Now we're still on Algo version 1. We didn't integrate the rolling P&L into the Algo estimate, but that's coming soon. So let's take a look. Okay, so here's our group view. And this actually shows all upcoming groups. But now the active group is D. And so here are our estimates, and we'll go over each one of them and see if this algo estimate is correct. And so, bro, just a reminder, this video is not a financial advice, and I'm not a financial advisor. This is just for fun. And also, some numbers in this tool might be off because it's still work in progress, the estimates or just the shares outstanding, the holdings. So you kind of have to keep that in mind as I'm working on this tool, making it better. The numbers it shows might be incorrect. Just have it in the back of your mind when you look at the dividends and predictions and holdings and all of that good stuff. So let's begin with MSTY. Okay, so with latest data all in the database, our final for the cycle income or P&L is 249 million, and that is $30 per share. Now here's the kicker. So last cycle, take a look at this number. Now we have 192 million shares outstanding. If we go quickly to last cycle, it was 134 million. Okay, and so what happens? This huge influx in outstanding shares sort of reduces shared income per share because there's more shareholders or more shares outstanding. Therefore, the portion of the total dividend is smaller. So I added this very handy dandy chart with shares outstanding. So the data, we should have a little bit more data than August of last year. So we'll import that later. But basically, this shows you a picture of how fast MSTY is growing. And since last cycle, bro, check this out. We're at 134 million, and now we're at 192. And by my estimate, that's like 30-something% increase in shares outstanding. Sure, that money kind of adds to the total synthetic holdings and all of that good stuff. And so we're now sitting on about 113, 112,000 contracts. That's synthetic and short contracts. Okay, but each shares portion of dividend is sort of decreasing. All right. So also what happened is the IV has dropped. It was like 70-some% a couple weeks ago. Now it's 58%. Don't know why, but it is what it is. Let's take a look at the estimate. So other funds I'll go kind of quicker, but this is the big boy, and I think we should spend a little bit more time on it. So with the IV update, the algo estimate now gives $24 through $51 estimate. IV estimate is $0.05. Okay, and the algo yield is 69 to 84%. So here's the kicker. Last month they paid $2.37 per share, and that was pretty nice. We made more money last cycle. We made like, let's go back again. We made $2.58 per share last cycle, and this cycle we're sitting at $1.30. So naturally they'll pay less than last cycle. However, since they added 30% more shares, probably even more, they want to make those new shareholders or new shares kind of happy, if you know what I mean. And so I think while they will not pay this much, I still think they'll pay in a range of $1.70. The cycle, especially given that compared to other funds, MSTY has been profitable this year. Okay, so total rolling P&L for this year. And now this goes back to cycle that ended on January 10th. And that cycle included some of the trades in December. But anyway, they're in the green. Whereas Coney, which made a lot of money last cycle, $1.46, they only paid half of that. Okay, so but they had a negative $2.09 per share loss, or $2.09 per share loss rolling. Okay, so yeah, so MSTY is sitting in a better place, so to say. So I think they'll pay slightly more than this. Now, this is not financial advice. This is just what I think. And because they kind of have to, not have to, but they like to stay close to their previous dividend, especially if they made money. However, they didn't make so much money, so I think they will not pay significantly more than $1.70. Maybe I'm wrong, and they will actually pay like $1.30 again in that range, and maybe the algo is actually correct. And we shall see, but that's just my prediction and what algo says. And algo is based on different factors like the synthetic position right now, the current share price of underlying, as well as MSTY itself, the IV, net profit for the cycle, and all of that good stuff. So there's a lot of variables that go into algo prediction. So I think we'll go about $1.70. Algo says $24 through $50, and IV estimate $0.05. So just to recap, last trades of the week. So that was on Friday. So we finally rolled all the positions. And what I want to do is I want to add a summary panel to this page to kind of show you exactly how many trades they made for that day, or at least the last day, and what was the average strike for all their trades. Okay, so as you can see over here, they actually bought 405. No, this is never mind. This is just like rolling. I don't see any long calls that they bought. Where is the buy? Buy to cover. Okay, so they bought some more synthetics, I think. So 1,000 shares of 390, and the pool. So yeah, that's synthetic. The first 4 lines right here, those are synthetics, and that's new shares coming in, new shareholders, and the rest of them are basically buy to close and sell short. So basically, we do not seem to have any long calls. Call sell. Yeah, so we do not have any long calls for next week, and I think that's actually maybe not so smart, but whatever, it is what it is. So closing price for MSTY was 369. We dropped as low as like 359 intraday, and then slightly recovered. So that's all good. They rolled all the positions, and now the average position is about, wow, it's as low as $380 right here. Fortunately, it's not that big of a position, and most of them are 385, 390 in that range. So if MSTY pumps, will kind of it will hurt on the weeklies. Our synthetic position will kind of recover if that happens. But yeah, so we'll see what happens next week as far as trade MSTY or MicroStrategy prices. We wanted to stay kind of range bound so we don't lose money on the synthetics and go maybe as high as like 385 by the end of the week. But yeah, so that's MSTY. Let's move on. Next is SMCY, SMCY. And I'll go faster over this big bad boy. So on the share price, wow, this used to be like a $50 stock when it rolled out. Anyway, so they made a lot of money this month. But let's take a look at rolling P&L. So they had some big losses. So last cycle they lost $12 a share. However, they made it up on the other months, and so right now they're sitting on $3.50 P&L year to date. Fiscal year, a little bit more, but whatever. Anyway, so fiscal year, actually, we don't exactly know when their fiscal year starts, so this is my guess based on some evidence where they said it kind of starts in October. So I'm not sure, but I put October for the fiscal year. Anyway, so the estimate for this month, wow, bro, I think I don't think we're gonna get $2 range on SMCY because the stock is trading at 1947. So I think Algo is a little bit too generous here. And IV best estimate is $1.17. That's more like it. Last payment was $1.41. So yeah, I think the Algo estimate is way too generous on this guy. And so I would say they'll pay like $1.50-ish. Again, let's take a look. Last month they lost a lot of money, $12 a share. That's not good. So yeah, I don't think they'll pay more than $1.50. So again, I'll work the rolling P&L into the Algo, and that should give a more accurate estimate in my opinion. But yeah, that's what it is. Synthetic is sitting negative down $2.37, and P&L is really good, $6.13 per share. Let's see if people are buying into this fund. There were, then they weren't, and now they're buying back in. Okay, so this is not as popular as MSTY. Okay, AMZY. Okay, AMZY is a nice ETF, and they lost money this cycle. I want to start with shares. So AMZY has been pretty stable as far as shares outstanding. People are not really loving it. A little bit of increase, but really nothing to write home about. Just 16 million shares. Anyway, they lost $70 per share. However, the synthetic is sitting in a positive $1.62. All right, and IV is pretty low, 28%. Last month they paid about 80 cents. So let's see what the Algo says. Oh wow. So Algo is not liking the negative P&L for the months or for the cycle, and doesn't give so much weight to the synthetic because that's unrealized and who knows what will happen. Okay, so IV estimate 38 cents and Algo is predicting 40 to 49 cents. Dividend, I would say they'll probably pay a little bit more, about 55 to 60 cents this cycle. Rolling P&L, let's take a look. Oh wow, yeah, they're not sitting pretty. They've been losing money. This April cycle was really bad for them. Until then, they were sitting okay, but this April kind of kicked their butt. And yeah, Amazon, bro, Amazon dropped to like $160 I bought one leap because I'm like, I want to be in Amazon, and the price is really good. But that was back in April. Those prices are gone, bro. Can't get that anymore. Maybe we'll have another drop, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so yeah, like I said, I'm thinking like 55 to 60 cents. Algo doesn't want to give it that much because we lost money for the cycle. Yeah. Okay, let's move on. Apple is a slow mover, and Apple stock has not been doing well, bro. It's not doing well. They made just 5 cents a share, and they're sitting on a negative P&L for the synthetic. And so Algo is basically in line with IV estimate, just a couple cents more, and I think that's pretty accurate. So about 36 to 44 cents. IV is 33 cents. That's IV estimate. So yeah, I don't think they'll pay much more than that because they didn't make any money. The cycle, people are really not loving APLY. I mean, there's been some influx in May, so from 8.5 million essentially to almost 10 million. Wow, that's a big increase actually. But yeah, it's since January 1st essentially it's not growing. It's not a growing fund. Okay, AI, so they had a massive pump from what I remember on earnings. I don't really know why. I don't think it was that big of a beat, but whatever. So so AIYY. Oh man, bro, look at this, $4.88. So they made more than 10% in 1 month. They made like 12% in 1 month, 52 cents a share. That's crazy, bro. That's a lot. But synthetic is sitting in the negative. I don't know why. AI is trading for 26.5 essentially, and the synthetic is 28. Let's look at the algo. It's predicting lower than the P&L. Okay, part of it is because of the negative synthetic. Anyway, 35 to 43 cents. And IV based estimate is 23 cents. Last dividend was 33. So I would kind of go with the algo estimate. All right, they made money this cycle. They made more than they paid last cycle. Let's take a look at not shares history, but oh wow, bro, they've been losing money. $1.76 per share since the beginning of the year. But take a look at this. The share price is like below $5, so that's like more than 30% they lost per share. Now again, this is rolling. Like it actually takes the number of shares. Why does this have a dollar sign? I gotta remove the dollar sign. This is shares outstanding, not dollars. Okay, so 21 million shares, and the total loss 37.4 million divided by 21 million shares. So that gives you the loss per share. So I'll fix this dollar sign. It shouldn't be there. Okay, but yeah. So it doesn't. So this rolling total per share is not a function of the monthly P&L per share. Okay, it's just the total, the final sum based on the shares outstanding versus cumulative loss for the cycle for the year. Anyway, so yeah, probably they'll pay closer to last month, so 33 cents give or take. Maybe the algo is. I think algo estimate for this month is fairly accurate, but like we said, they had a bad loss last couple of months. So, bro, this is like 40% of the current share price in 1 month. That's crazy. Okay, shares outstanding. It's been growing the last few days. I think after AI AI pump after earnings, that's why people are piling in, especially that the shares are so cheap. Anyway, move on. DISO, slow mover, low IV, 20%. Disney, meh. They made a lot of money, bro. Check this out. $1.13 P&L or synthetic. They're up $1.13 on the synthetic. They made $1.78 in the months. So that's like 3 times more than they paid on the last dividend. That's crazy. Let's quickly look at the rolling P&L. They're down for the year, but you know, it was just like 1 month. They were significantly down. The rest of them kind of look green, but still it's a significant down for the year. So let's take a look at our estimator. Yeah, I think it's kind of more or less in line, maybe a little bit lower. I would go with like 60 cents just because we lost a lot of money. And again, this algo does not include rolling P&L. We gotta build it in. It's taking some time, but I've had a lot of work to do lately. So anyway, what did I want to say? Let's see how the share. Yeah, it's flat. Nobody's buying into DISO. IV is just 20%. It's a small fund, 2.5 million outstanding shares. No love, but they're sitting pretty. Look at this. The P&L is in the green, and they made money this month, so all is good. I think they'll pay around 50 to 60 cents this cycle, and once we kind of improve the algo prediction using rolling P&L, it will be more accurate. So next, YQQQ. So this is Square. I mean, like, bro, instead of making money, this company spends time and money because it's not free to change your ticker. So they go from Square to ZZ, XYZY. Like, why? Why did you need to do that? And by the way, so you can see in my database, there's no history because they changed name, and I screwed up and I didn't update the. So we have all the trades for them, but we didn't. So once they changed the name from SQY to ZZ, we have to basically merge the old history with the new name, and so that's work in progress. The good thing, it's not a very popular fund, so I don't think there's a lot of interest in there, and that's why we don't have a lot of rolling P&L history just this month, and they lost $2.60 per share. So again, this is incomplete because of the name change and me dropping the ball on merging them together. Anyway, synthetic is sitting pretty, plus $2.93, and I wouldn't trust a lot into this estimate, but the last cycle they paid 41 cents, not bad. IV based estimate 37 cents, and so I think Algo is kind of in line, but again, it doesn't have a lot of data to go on because in our database it still says SQY, so we have to merge these two guys, and that takes time because we have to make sure everything works seamlessly together, and there's a lot of moving parts in it. So 44% IV. Okay, yeah, I kind of tend to agree with Algo. I'll be fixing this guy. So let's move on. YQQQ is a short, and so is Winter, so I can't really rely on the. Yeah, you see, there's no synthetic. They did make $1.10 per share, so that's not bad. Let's take a look. Yeah, so there's no synthetic. It's a short ETF. I don't really pay attention to them. I don't exactly understand how they work, but anyway, the P&L this month's $1.10. So I think Algo estimator is more or less accurate. IV based estimate. I mean, bro, this is Nasdaq IV, so I can't really go on that. But maybe you can. I don't know. 25 cents IV estimate, 53 to 65 cent. Algo estimate, I would say closer to 50 cents, a little bit more than last month because they made money. But yeah, okay. And Winter also. So that's, I believe, the fiat is short of Coinbase, and Winter, I believe, is short of MicroStrategy. Bro, there is no synthetic. There's nothing to go on. They lost 79 cents. No synthetic. Algo says, I don't believe this. I do not believe this. I think they'll pay. So, oh wow, they paid. Oh, it's a $50 stock. That's why the estimate is so high. Okay, like it launched at $50. It's fairly new, but last month they paid 272. Maybe Algo is kind of correct. It's very close to the IV based estimate, but they did lose money, and so yeah, whatever. I'm not a fan of short ETFs, so and I'm not even sure how correct our Algo is with the. I mean, it counts all the P&L. Since there is no synthetic position, it doesn't know what to do. It just like spits out zeros. So that kind of throws everything off, and it basically can go based on income and IV. And so perhaps this is more or less correct. Okay, guys. So yeah, those are the estimates. And if we look back over here, so this table right here kind of summarizes all those numbers. Again, the IV sort of dropped toward the end of the month. We did finish May on pretty good standing. S&P was up. Things look good. Yeah, we have some tariff volatility, but overall, my MSTY is growing like crazy. Shares outstanding increasing nicely, and so I think to at least this cycle, to please all the new shareholders, I think they'll pay closer to $1.70. Well, let's see, because not regardless, but basically, like, if they pay out more, then the share price will drop. Okay, so it's kind of a trade-off, and which one you prefer more, the higher dividend or the drop in NAV or share price. And yeah, okay, so I've been getting questions like, when do you have to own this stock? So first of all, again, this is not financial advice. All of my the Algo is basically like just algorithm-based predictions, and it uses several factors to calculate the estimate. The whole video is not financial advice. I'm just sharing with you my thoughts and what the Algo says. And but to answer the questions, when do you have to own the share to receive the dividend? Basically, this countdown clock is to the announcement, 6:55 a.m. on June 4th. That's when it will go into next cycle. So to own the shares, the way I understand it, again, not financial advice, but that's the way it worked for me on Robinhood. If you buy on this date before market close, before 4 p.m. Eastern time, you should be receiving the dividend for this cycle. If you hold through next cycles, you'll receive those dividends. But for this cycle, the way I understand, you need to own the shares on June 4th before market close. If you buy it after market close, the price already drops, and so that means like you're no longer getting the dividend that cycle. So yeah, you can buy it Monday, Tuesday until market close. If you buy it on Wednesday, Wednesday is the declaration day. If you buy on Wednesday before market close, then you get the dividend. And if you buy on Thursday, you're not getting the dividend. Or if you buy on Wednesday after market close. So that's how it works. Don't take me on that 100%. That's how I understand it. That's how it worked out for me. If I bought on the declaration date, but after market is closed, I didn't get the dividend. There was a couple of times I did that. I didn't get the dividend for that cycle and for that stock. So that's how it worked out for me, and that's how I'm relaying it to you. Bro, thanks for watching. I wish everybody good luck this cycle. Let me know in the comment section if you enjoyed this format, if you want me to go faster or in more details, if you want me to show you all these reports. I'm building more reports to analyze daily trades. So let me know in the comment section what you like to see in these videos. If I talk too much, if you want them more condensed and kind of just give you the information. If you want that, I can just like in the beginning do a quick review of the group summary, estimates for the whole group. We can do that, TLDR type of thing. If you don't want to see it through my mumbling, blah, blah, blah. You can also speed up the thing. So I arranged these groups in order of importance, in my opinion, which stock is more important, so you don't have to wait for the boring like XYZY or DISO. So I put up the more important stocks front and center, and that's how I sort of organized the video. So let me know what you think. If you own any shares, what do you expect as far as dividends? And we'll see you in the next video. Next is Group A, and that's Tesla, TMC, IBIT. I actually got to make another video on IBIT. They changed their strategy completely from my previous videos, so got to take a new fresh look on IBIT, because now it's all not grayscale, what you call it? It's all BlackRock IBIT ETF. So this is YBIT, and they're trading IBIT. I'll just quickly show you. And they're also having some other stuff. MBTX, I have no idea what that is. I gotta look into it. But so they stopped doing BITO covered calls. They did them for a while until IBIT came out with options. Then they came back to BITO. Then they left BITO. So they were all over the place. It was like a massive loss of capital. If you look at rolling, even this year they're losing money. But bro, this is not pretty. And this is when they stopped trading BITO. Okay, and then they came back to BITO in January. Then they left. They stopped doing it. So they're all over the place. But now there's no BITO. So we need to take a fresh look at YBIT. I'll do a separate video on that. But for the next week, basically Group A, Tesla, TSMY, IBIT, GUI, ORC, SNOY, Zomo, Crash. We gotta move SNOY probably up a little bit. Anyway, so yeah, bro, thanks for watching. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, push the notification to get the updates, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.